Hello, beautiful specimen, and welcome back to my channel or to my channel. I apologize for the bit of the hiatus that I took. A lot of things have been happening, and last week specifically, apparently, I forgot how to do makeup, so yeah, I got frustrated and just decided no makeup that day. So, yeah, this is the look that we're doing today. It's hard to see in this lighting at the moment. I'll show you better lighting afterwards. And this is the inspiration. I've gotten inspiration from her a couple times, and she's phenomenal. And without further ado, Ray is going to be reading Reddit stories while I do my other eye. And also, special shout out to Ray. Happy birthday to him today.
Am I the a-hole for wanting to tell my husband's best friend everything? My 41F son, 19M, is having an affair with his dad's best friend's wife, Lisa, 37F.
Read that one more time.
My 41F son, 19M, is having an affair with his dad's best friend's wife, Lisa, 37F.
Okay.
I found out when he left his phone on the kitchen counter and Lisa messaged him some explicit details. It was disgusting and vomit-inducing. She's known him since he was 9. How could he do this? Lisa is also has a son of her own. How could she do this? I confronted my son and he told me that it's an adult and that he's an adult and can make his own choices, and that Lisa is feeling lonely and depressed in her marriage. And he brightens up her day, and that she respects him in a way girls his own age don't. I have no clue what he means by that, but I told him that if he doesn't stop seeing her at this moment, I'm going to tell Lisa's husband about it all. I went to my husband to tell him about everything, and he got mad at me. He told me that if I tell Lisa's husband everything, then his friendship with him would be absolutely ruined. He told me that our son is an adult, and I have no right to interfere in their life whatsoever.
How would the friendship be over? It's not his fault. It's his son's fault. He can't really control his adult son.
I don't know. Am I the butt face for defending my daughter's guest at a family gathering? We had a family gathering today with lots of extended family. My daughter, 14F, invited a friend, 14F, to come over to hang out, eat, and have fun. I don't know if I want to keep reading this one, just from their ages and unknowing. All was going well, but I noticed that friend who was looking happy and upbeat suddenly looked upset. She told me her mom was coming to pick her up early. I asked her if she was okay and what had happened. She stated that my nephew, 8M, my husband's side, was picking on her and being mean, overusing a slip and slide. The girl felt bad and quit doing the slip and slide, and that was when she sat down with me and had her mom come get her. I don't know the friend very well, but she seemed to be mentally challenged, but she was a sweet girl. I didn't have a chance to speak with the mom before they left because it was all of a sudden. My mother-in-law was the one throwing the shindig, and she wanted to know what happened. I specifically said I was not there when it happened, but this is what friends told me. I told mother-in-law that it hurt her feelings and she left early due to nephew saying things. Nephew is the golden child. Mother-in-law immediately became defensive, saying nephew wouldn't say that and it was just kids being kids. I told her that friend was a guest at our house and I felt bad for the girl. She starts raising her voice and basically saying it couldn't be true and that everyone was a guest. I again told her that I was not there and I don't know what happened, but that was why the friend left early. This was the first time friend had even been over there. I told her if we couldn't talk it out rationally, then I was walking away, so I did. I went for a walk to cool my head. When I came back, I was told I shouldn't have said anything. I ruined the peace, should have kept my mouth shut, and that the little girl may have lied. We left the get together and went home. I haven't heard from the mom, and my daughter hasn't heard from her friend. I feel bad for the girl. She was even telling me now how she's bullied at school. Now we have her over and this happens. Am I the buffet? Should I just kept my mouth shut and not said anything?
Oh, my eye is so dry. No, there is nothing wrong with saying something. A golden child is gonna get that treatment from the people that praise them. That's kind of the whole point of a golden child. They get away with a lot and they don't do things that they do. I don't know. I hate the idea of golden children because they get away with way more than they should.
It's hot in here. I, 23M, broke up with my boyfriend, 25M, of 2 years last night, and now I'm wondering if I overreacted. My cousin, 29F, just got married to her wife, 28F, in this beautiful ceremony.
Yeah?
Yeah, remember, I'm having speech issues because my throat. They're the first queer couple in our family to get married, and it meant a lot to me personally. Growing up, I didn't even know if I'd be allowed to be out, let alone see two women I love and admire stand up and be celebrated. My boyfriend, we'll call him Zach, came with me. He's met most of my family before, and everything seemed fine. During the reception, things got emotional. A few people gave unplanned toast, and my cousin asked if I wanted to say something. I kept it short, just said how proud I was, how beautiful it was to see queer love honored like that. That was it. When I sat down, Zach leaned over and quietly whispered, "You know, for someone who's not even in the wedding, you're really trying to make it your moment." I thought he was joking, gave him a look, and then he added something along the lines of, "You gonna cry again, or save it for our wedding that we're never having?" He smirked like it was nothing, and I laughed awkwardly because I didn't want to cause a scene and ruin my cousin's wedding. But it stuck with me. I didn't say anything right away because it was not the time or place. I didn't want to make the night about me or create any drama. Later, back at our hotel, I brought it up. I said his comment hurt, especially since he knows how much the wedding meant to me. He brushed it off, saying, "Jesus, you're still on that? It was a joke. You were getting so sappy I thought you were going to propose." I told him I didn't think it was funny and that he took a moment that mattered to me and made me feel stupid for caring. He kept calling me sensitive and said I was overreacting everything, like always. So
Like always.
I told him I was done. I packed my stuff, called a friend, and left. He texted since saying I made a scene out of nothing, that I chose a weird hill to die on, and that I regret throwing away a good thing over a dumb joke.
What?
Am I the a-hole? Is the end of that?
No, absolutely not. You are not the a-hole at all. Weddings are emotional. That is normal. A lot of people cry at weddings, especially if they're family members or close friends. There is literally nothing wrong with that, and there is nothing wrong with making a small speech commending the couple. There is nothing wrong with any of that you did. There is everything wrong with your partner, though. That is not a good partner. At all. Saving it for our wedding? No. Get out. No.
Get out. Am I the a-hole for replying to my boyfriend's baby mama when she texted me? I'm 25F, dating 36M. Let's call him John, who has a 5-year-old daughter with a 42F. Let's call her Jane, who lives 5 states away from us. He moved to the state I live in after they broke up. We started dating a year after they broke up, and we've been together for about 10 months, and we moved in together a couple months ago. John broke his phone. He was using my old iPhone with his SIM card in it, but my iCloud account. He messaged Jane. Nothing weird. He said good morning. He usually checks in on them every day, and I'm aware of it, and we're good about it. This message actually sent with my iCloud instead of his number. I was at work, and she replied saying, "Who is this?" I was in the middle of my busy shift, so I just assumed it was one of the girls I work with because I recently messaged one of them asking for a shift coverage. So I just replied saying, "It's me, my name." And there was no reply, so I checked again and noticed a message sent on top. "Me and baby mama have never spoken right before this text." I replied and said, "Sorry, I think John meant to message you, but it was sent from my iCloud." And she replies and says, "Are you his girlfriend? Do you live together? He told me he doesn't have a girlfriend." I was a bit surprised with this bunch of questions. I didn't want to reply anymore, but I was feeling a little upset that he didn't want to tell her I existed. So I said yes. We're living together. Jeremy replies, has he told you he loves you? Have you met his family? How long we've been dating? So ATP, at that point, I'm like, okay, she is weird. Why is she asking me the audacity? So I don't reply. Jane messages me again and says, because he lives with you, he doesn't want to call his daughter because he doesn't want to know he's dating you. Want me to know he's dating you. That's what she meant. I told her it's not a secret that he has a daughter with you, and I've been there when he's called you guys, so. But I respect whatever choices he makes for the part of his life, so I don't want to overstep. And just let him be. He'll introduce me whenever he's ready. She replies and says, I respect that. I don't reply. She messages again, does he tell you that he's moving back here? I replied and said he's only told me he's sad to be so far and wants to see his daughter grow up. Jane replied, if you make him happy and respect my daughter, I'm fine with everything. I don't reply. She messages again. He lies to me to make himself look good. That's what he does. I don't reply. Next day she messages me. Do you know if John got a bus ticket to come back to blank, aka the state? I don't reply. She messaged again, and a couple hours later, and all of a sudden, it's like a routine. You can have John. Keep him there. Make more babies. He doesn't take care of. Good luck. He said you guys were just roommates and not dating. I don't reply. She sends a screenshot of John messaging her saying he misses him and he misses her. I don't reply. Through all of this, me and John are open about these messages from her. He tells me, I told you she's crazy. What did you have to reply to her when you knew I was the one who messaged her? I said I didn't realize it. I was at work busy, assumed it was one of my girls I work with. He's mad. That night, I finally sent her a reply and it said, you're probably hurting right now, and I'm so sorry for things are this way. I don't know what you want me to say. These things you are telling me and screenshotting of his messages to you. Sometimes life just doesn't work out the way we want it. I'm sorry we just get to know each other under these circumstances. I'm sure you are a nice person and I respect you. Side note, I wasn't that upset with the stuff she sent because my boyfriend has been faithful and so supportive to me. I kind of wanted to hear him out first as I trust his words over hers. The screenshot didn't upset me because I felt like it was valid for him to miss them. He was once there and had a family, now he's far, and I believe he can love me and miss them at the same time. Anyway, I don't know if my last message to her made her furious, but she gave my boyfriend so much crap that he was stressing and got mad at me for getting involved in messaging her. I stated I remained respectful and that he was the one using my phone to message her to begin with. I just replied to the message that was sent to me. John made me feel like an a-hole and said I ruined his chances to have a connection with his daughter because the baby mama told him they won't answer his calls. They'll call him when they want to, and it made me so sad for him, but I don't know how I was the a-hole.
Court. He can very easily get more access to his daughter.
They're 5 states away from each other.
Through court. Yes, but the mother can't deny him from calling.
Oh no.
That's why I said court. And also, that's either one crazy baby mama or he's gaslighting her and lying. There's no real in between.
Too long. I, F23, was invited to my friend Sasha's F23's birthday party. It was for a Friday at 8:30 p.m. We would start at her house to pregame and then go to bars. I had worked from that day from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. But I really wanted to go, so I rushed home. We ate dinner, got ready, drove to her place. We were texting the whole day about the plans, and she seemed very excited for me to join her and her friends. I am acquainted with her friends, but not besties. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to say, am I the a-hole for leaving my friend's birthday party after she didn't let me in her house?
Okay.
I forgot to say the title. Give me a second. I arrived at her house at 8:30 on the dot. I hung up the phone with my boyfriend and texted her to let her know I was there. She said okay. So I walked up and knocked on the door. I heard music and people talking inside, so I knew they were there. Nobody answered. I noticed she had a Ring camera, so I waved in front of it, knowing Ring notifies people's phones. Still, nobody let me in. I knocked louder and texted her that I was at the door, but I was neither let in nor texted back. I knocked even louder and started shouting, "Hey Sarah, Sasha, I'm here." I finally hear footsteps coming to the front door, but instead of letting me in, I heard the deadbolt lock click, locking me out. I walked away from the door and called my boyfriend to tell him what was going on. I told him my feelings were hurt and I wanted to go home. He convinced me to stay and knock again, rationalizing that it was a miscommunication. I texted it again, saying, "Okay, I'm out front." Sasha immediately answered, "Okay, sounds good." So I knocked again. No answer. I heard the music get turned down, and Sasha says, "Guys, I think she's here." So I knocked as loud as I could and said, "Yes, I'm here. It's me." Footsteps came towards the door, and again the deadbolt sounded. The door remained locked, and the footsteps walked away. At this point, I've been knocking for 12 minutes. I was so upset and angry that I left and texted Sasha. So I've been knocking for over 10 minutes, and no one let me in. So I'm going home. She immediately called me, but I didn't answer because I was afraid I would say something out of anger that I would have regretted. She texted me that she looked through the people and did not see me. I think that's BS because she literally had a Ring camera, and I told her that my feelings were hurt and I felt unwelcome. I did not receive an answer. Am I the a-hole for leaving? What could that be the reason behind this?
No, you have every right to leave for so many reasons. Because, I mean, initially, yeah, you could be like, well, maybe it's the cops because of a noise complaint or something. I'm not going to answer the door. That is possible. However, you were texted. I don't remember if she said that she was called. You were waved in front of the Ring camera. And you knocked on the door. You waited. You gave them time. And you were ignored. And the way that everything was said, it sounded like you were only invited to be polite.
Imagine if it was at the wrong house, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too.
Am I the a-hole for enforcing basic boundaries on my daughter's sleepover? I, 42M, have two kids living with me. My daughter Anya, 17F, and my stepson Noah, 14M.
When I hear Anya, I always think of Spy X Family.
I don't know if that's actually how this one is pronounced. It's just, that's why I thought when I saw
I don't know, that's just what I think of.
Noah's mom passed a few years ago, and I've had full custody since. He's had a rough go of it, but he's a good kid with his quirks. He's not antisocial or shy, but he does not appreciate having his space invaded, and when very upset, he can kind of shut down. Anya is very much outgoing and has a lot of friends. She asked me to have a sleepover this weekend with 4 of them. I said yes, of course, but given that the friends who were coming over were pretty loud and have a tendency to crowd Noah, I told her to make sure they don't go into her brother's room. Also, to keep things down after 11 so the house can sleep. In my opinion, those are not strict rules. To my surprise, I came upstairs to check on them at about 10. There are 17. I didn't think I needed to check on them every hour or something. And they were in the Noah's room. And they looked like they'd been there a while. 2 were literally sitting on his bed with him there, and one of them was flipping through his sketchbook. Another one was messing with his other stuff, and they were all kind of giggling in a weird way. Noah was clearly upset. He didn't say anything / move, but there was tears in his eyes, and he didn't respond. When I tried to talk to him, I told the girls to get out right then, that I was calling every single one of their parents. Anya was pretty upset with me, but I told her that I gave them 2 rules, and they failed spectacularly. I did actually call all of their parents and sent them home as soon as possible. Anya blew up saying I embarrassed her. I told her to go to her room and that we would speak about it in the morning. I spent about 20 minutes with Noah before he decided he wanted to cool down on his own. I went back to my daughter, who chose not to speak to me. It's late, both of my kids are hopefully asleep, and I'm left not knowing if I handle things right. Am I the a-hole?
No. You set boundaries. Your daughter is old enough to follow the said boundaries. The friends were being disrespectful. I don't know if Anya said that, hey, we can't go in there, or if she had the idea or just went along with it, but that's not okay. It is perfectly okay for people to want their space and to have their space and be comfortable with what they're comfortable with. He was not comfortable with that. You cannot pressure that or force that. You had every right to call the parents and have them leave. Anyways, I'm going to do my finishing touches, and I will be right back. And I'm back with the finished look. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know if you have any suggestions for what I should do next, or any Reddit stories or anything as well. I will see you all next time. Bye!